This is Ray.
This is Andy.
And this is FDS Local Sports.
Finally, the real Maritime Football League is back, Ray.
It's back.
We spent so much time talking about when the CFL is going to come to the Maritimes, and, you know, we're hopeful, but we don't like waiting. Now the real MFL has kicked off. The games are back. Super excited.
Senior men's football's back. Andy, you weren't here for the promotional video, but It's great to have you back at my side to talk about games from week one.
Well, you know me, that might have been strategic a little bit. I'm not much for marketing, but when we got actual games to talk about, I'm always here.
Let's talk about some games.
Let's do it.
We're going to start off out of the province of New Brunswick. We're going down to the province of Nova Scotia where the first game took place, and that's the Halifax Harbour Hawks taking on the newly expansion Nova Scotia Buccaneers.
Instant rivals, right? The two Nova Scotia teams in the MFL, both in the Halifax area. Those Buccaneer uniforms are slick, too. They're all over Facebook. I like them.
They look really good. One of the things I was surprised to learn about this game, remember the quarterback we talked last year with the Harbour Hawks, Micah Brown?
Yeah, also the head coach, right?
Head coach,
yeah.
Offensive coordinator, yeah. Probably defensive coordinator as
trainer,
well. Yeah. He didn't play in this game, so I'm not sure if the plans are for him to come back this year. We're going to have to do a little bit of inquiring, maybe get a quick interview with Micah and have him on the show to tell us what's going on with the Harbour Hawks.
Well, I don't know if you remember, Ray, but an actual theme for last season was us pretty much on a weekly basis asking about the quarterback situation with the Harbour Hawks.
Yeah.
So we're starting out again.
We're starting
on the right
again.
foot. What the heck's going on there?
What I can tell you is I do have a quarterback's name this year, and his name is Lucas Bracklehurst.
Good job.
Not bad.
That's pretty good.
That's the best I could do.
And reading through your handwriting here, I think you got that right.
I did get that right.
Wow.
Bracklehurst. Okay. He threw 2 touchdowns in this game to 2 kids named Nate Skeet and Justin Coolin. Both guys had big games for the offense. On defense, guys by the name of Trey Colley and Deshaun States, they had big games. But there was no guy bigger in this game than the kid on defense for the Harbour Hawks. Zach Kane was the MVP of this game.
Zach Kane.
As the Harbour Hawks went on to win this game 14-9.
Tough game. Very close scoring.
Pretty close score for an expansion team coming into this league. I was impressed by the score.
Yeah, absolutely. I like a nice tight game like that, and good on the Buccaneers for staying competitive. And when the MVP, you know how I always say this, when the MVP of the game is a defensive player, it was a good game.
It's going to be a good game. When it comes to stats, guys, we record every Tuesday at 6 o'clock. That's when we're going to be recording our show. We'd love to get your stats in by Monday so they make the cut. Unfortunately, the Buccaneers just didn't get them in time, so I can't tell you anything about the Buccaneers players, but I can't wait to get an update on who scored the Buccaneers' first points in their inaugural MFL season.
Exactly. Expansion team. We're not going to give them too hard of a time about that, but we want to hear from you.
There you go.
Yep.
Let's get over to game number 2. And Andy, this one was a doozy. We have talked more about these two teams playing against each other in our first year of covering the MFL. And that's your Moncton Mustangs in St. John playing against the Wanderers. What a game this game was. Now, I don't know if you caught this, but the game was on Rogers Cable. Did you see any of it?
Only a little bit of it, so I want you to tell me what happened. But I definitely did catch just a bit of it to see the quality of the stream and so on, and it's good.
The quality of the stream was great, but my very first rant of the MFL season goes at Rogers Cable Television. Has nothing to do with the MFL, but Rogers Cable Television. The guy that's running the camera, Andy, he is a horrendous cameraman. And I say that's as positive as I could be. Horrendous. Whenever you're filming the sport of football, you start wide and zoom into the ball.
Right.
Right?
Sure.
If you watch ABC, NBC, Fox, you start wide and zoom to the ball.
All those 30 camera operations versus the one camera.
That's right.
Okay.
What this guy was doing, he would start in zoomed,
right,
shift to wide, and then zoom again. By the time the play was over, I had a headache from the darn television camera.
Gotcha.
Rogers, Cable, you got to improve your TV coverage. You've got 4 more games this year to do it.
Okay.
All right.
If the cameraman is related to anybody on the teams or anything like that, we apologize for that. Constructive feedback. That's all it was.
Rant 1. Here we go. Let's get into the game. Andy, the scoring opened up with a 3-yard rushing touchdown from a running back from St. John. I don't know if you saw this kid, number 49, Evan Arnold. This guy is a Mack truck.
Is this his first year with them?
I
don't know that name.
I have not heard this kid's name before, but this kid was out of the backfield. He was catching passes in the flat. He is a big boy that's got a little bit of speed to him.
A little bit of speed? Come on now.
It was almost like watching Jerome Bettis, almost. I have to tell you, the kid, he is a big boy when he gets the football.
After throwing that cameraman under the bus, he brings up the bus.
There you go.
Wow.
So that's how the scoring started. In the first quarter, there was no scoring in this game. In the second quarter, the offenses started getting some momentum going, and Evan Arnold started this game off with a 3-yard touchdown run. Moncton responded in the mid-third quarter, and that was on a touchdown run by number 88, Cameron Morley.
I know that name.
You do know that name. Moncton High, now plays at Acadia. He ran for 6 yards, scored a touchdown, made the game 7-7 in the third. In the fourth quarter, Moncton takes the lead, and you're not going to believe how they took the lead, Andy.
Let's hear it.
On a punt by Ben George. You know that name, Ben George.
Absolutely, yeah.
Ben George kicks it through the end zone for a ruse, 8-7. The Mustangs take the lead in this game.
Attaboy, Ben. Ben also Acadia, isn't he?
I believe he is, yeah.
He's one of them. Yeah. Anyway.
Late in the fourth quarter, though, similar to last year's championship, the Wanderers come back on a play at the goal line, and this Evan Arnold, who I just talked about, scored a touchdown from the one and then followed up putting the ball back in the end zone on a 2-point convert. Wanderers win game 1 against the Mustangs 15-8.
Wow.
And that's something different than we saw last year because the Mustangs didn't lose a game in regular season.
Right. Well, I mean, there was a lot of synergy in between the Mustangs last year and the Mustangs the year before. I believe the reverse happened, so maybe we're off to another season. So, St. John, if you plan on winning all your regular season games, be careful.
Be careful.
It doesn't always work out.
It doesn't always work out. Let's talk about some key stats for your Moncton Mustangs. Dan Comfort.
That's fair enough.
Did that work?
I guess so.
He went 12 for 26, 129 yards and 1 interception. Cameron Morley, who I was just talking about, 84 yards, touchdown. Leslie Green had three receptions for 59 yards. And over on the defensive side of the ball, Israel Ilunga, I think I got that right, 4.5 tackles,
Looks
2 interceptions. Good. And a big veteran on defense, got to mention this guy too, Bobby McIntyre, 6.5 tackles and an interception. Mustangs, we'll talk about your week 2 coming up, but that's a tough loss for the Mustangs down in St. John.
Absolutely, but they'll have an opportunity to rebound. And again, that's a big rival between these two teams. So anyway.
It's going to be fun to watch as the season goes on.
All right. Do you want to talk about the third game?
Let's talk about the third game.
I got information about the third game. So the third game also featured an expansion team, a team I'm super excited about, the Southern New Brunswick Ducks.
Yeah.
All right, Ray. I'm going to disappoint you right off the bat and let you know I asked, and at no point in this game did they execute one of the most potent plays in all of sports, the flying V.
Oh,
it didn't happen.
Didn't happen.
And that might have been the problem. Not sure. So, all right, let's talk. I mean, as you know, we love the Mariners and we love the Ducks too. Reigning FDS Player of the Year, Donnie Mitchell, was absolutely jacked up to talk about this game. I was chatting with him through DM. He's playing linebacker this year, Ray.
He's a linebacker.
So look out. But
whoa.
But listen, what do linebackers have to do? They got to play excellent special teams.
Special teams?
On the opening kickoff of the game, first game of the season, Donnie Mitchell comes up with the big tackle on the kickoff to stop. Very next play, Richard Lush forces a fumble. And Brennan Davis, if you remember him.
Yes, I do remember that.
He was the kicker, and I think he even played a bunch of quarterback last year.
Yes.
He picked that up, returned it to the 15-yard line, and they were able to punch it in from there. So
nice.
Now this game, there were forced fumbles, there were turnovers on both sides. Both quarterbacks called their own number multiple times. The quarterback for the Mariners is a veteran, Chris Tex Much. So we're just going to call him Tex from now on.
Tex?
Hey, if that's your nickname, then it's just Tex, right? So
all right, there you go.
Tex
Much.
Tex completed some big-time passes in this game. He also called his number and ran in on a touchdown. But, I couldn't get over the fact Donnie Mitchell with the first tackle. In fact, on Facebook, you must have seen, he shared a picture of him making that opening tackle.
I haven't seen it.
So you'll understand why I was shocked to find out that on the very next kickoff, the Ducks ran it all the way back for a touchdown. Where was the big blue ox on that one, Donnie?
What happened?
What's happening?
The kid that ran that back, his name is Jordan Betteridge. 105-yard touchdown or 105-yard return for a touchdown on that.
Donnie took that play off. He was over there waiting for Facebook to load that picture, I guess. I don't know what's going on. Listen, it was the Mariners' defense has been described to me with multiple adjectives that mean terrorizing. Let's just put it that way.
Big.
8 to 10 sacks. It was estimated. So shout out to all the defensive players. Brennan Davis again. The kicker. He was 5 of 6 on his PATs, and nice. He also picked up that fumble. That was huge. Dylan Fortune, the running back, he had 2 touchdowns. He also he broke off a big 40-yard run to set up one of them. Paul Amba, a new running back, he scored a touchdown for them. Richard Lush had that forced fumble, of course, I mentioned, and thank you so much, Richard, for sending us all those stats and everything. We really appreciate that. Dennis Brown, I believe he's a first-year player, but perhaps not. I could be remembering that wrong, but he had an interception. And Alistair Nicholson had a big touchdown catch from Tex, and also made a huge leaping catch to set up a scoring drive. That was somebody described him as Randy Moss-like.
Whoa!
So I cannot wait until we get a chance to see this guy in person.
All right.
So, but you have a little bit more information on the Ducks side of things?
Yeah, let me just tell you a little bit about the Ducks. Look, this is a young team. They're learning the MFL game. Some of these kids haven't even graduated high school yet, right? So their quarterback, Jared Laming, they've got 2 running backs, Jonathan Marino and Ryan Fleming. Watch for these kids as the years progress. They're only going to get better. They're led by a team veteran center, Curtis Nicholson, who's going to be dealing with those defensive lines all year. The very first touchdown scored by the Ducks was a kid by the name of John Kennedy. And the first point after kick was OK Kepnick.
Yeah.
Well, that's the best I got. Guys, I'm a name murderer. It's going to happen. Outside that, the Ducks are very comfortable in naming Jordan Betteridge, who returned that kick for a touchdown, as their MVP for week 1 of the MFL season.
Absolutely. Great job, Jordan. And, it's great having 6 teams this year. It's very exciting. And again, you don't just come right out of the gate swinging. The other expansion team had their struggles as well. So listen, build a program, keep the kids coming out, or the vets, and we're super excited to have 6 teams. We want more, not fewer. So
every league, it doesn't matter pro or minor, week 1 of any league is always a tough week for the offense.
Yeah.
The defense has the advantage in week 1, and we saw that by some of the scores. I'm looking for week 2 to see some more production out of these offenses.
100%.
Let's talk about week 2.
Let's do it.
We've got 3 big games again in week 2, starting out on Friday night at 8 p.m. under the lights at Rocky Stone Field in Moncton, New Brunswick.
And hopefully not under the rain.
No rain. The Southern MB Ducks are coming into Moncton to take on your Moncton Mustangs.
Very excited. We will both be there for this game.
And First Down Sports will be present.
We'll be there for this game. Hoping to see the Flying V.
Over on Saturday at 1 o'clock, the Harbor Hawks are traveling to the St. John Wanderers. That should be a great game. That should really set where this league is, seeing the Harbor Hawks and the Wanderers. And at 4 p.m., again, this should be a really good game because the Buccaneers played the Harbor Hawks pretty tight. The Island Mariners are traveling on to Nova Scotia to take on the Buccaneers.
Fresh off 40 plus. Absolutely. That's going to be a big game too. This is going to be a very interesting week of games. Yeah.
It's going to really tell you where these things are because, listen, the Buccaneers, they played very well against the Harbor Hawks.
Yep.
Right? There's a great YouTube video. Go search it. Hawks and Buccaneers. There's a great little 15-minute video where you can see the recap of the game. It was a good football game. Go check it out.
Did the cameraman on that one do a little better than Rogers?
The cameraman on that one...
it was a YouTube video.
It's a YouTube video, but go check it out. You be the judge. I can't have two rants in one night.
Okay.
Two other leagues I want to just talk about real quick. Maritime Women's Football League. They're also kicking it off this spring, Andy.
Yes.
Okay. I can't tell you how many teams they got in the league. I know they're trying to expand as well. I've reached out to the league.
Yeah.
I've asked them if they would like us to cover them. They said yes. I told them we need information. I'm waiting for that information. Schedule, games, stats.
Yeah.
You know the drill.
We hit the net, guys, and all we can find is a Facebook page that has 2018 information on it. So if we can, if anybody listening, doesn't even have to be somebody on those teams, but if anybody can get us information to recap the games, talk about what's going on in that league, we want to. We couldn't find anything.
Absolutely. There was also two provincial football games that took place on the weekend. Your under 16s and under 18s played out at Mount A. I'd love to talk about these young kids as well, whether you're Team New Brunswick or Team Nova Scotia. Coaches, I know you watch this video. Players, I know you watch this. Reach out to us. We'd love to have some information on what's going on with those games so we can talk about the national finals of our local players from the Maritimes playing in these national finals throughout the summer.
Shouldn't we have an insider on the coaching staff for one of these teams?
We do. Scott O'Neill is part of the provincial boys under 18 team.
And Ray Perkin as well.
Perkins there as well. So,
Come on, Ray.
Perkin be twerking. Gets us some information to us.
Listen, Ray with a W, you got to try to live up to the expectations, all right?
There you go. That's all I have for local sports this week, Andy.
That's all I got too, but I can't wait for Friday. We're gonna have a blast at Rocky Stone. Can't wait to see the Ducks. And that's all I got to say. Don't rain.
Don't rain. We'll see you Friday.
Later, guys.